He was just a boy with dust on his shoes and hope in his eyes, walking the same cracked pavement he always did. But that day, something changed. A black leather wallet, thick and heavy, lay by the sidewalk. Most would pocketed it and moved on, but not this kid. What happened next didn't just shock a millionaire, it left him speechless, in tears. And it all started with a single question from a boy who had nothing but heart. Welcome back to our channel, where we bring you real-life stories that restore your faith in humanity and remind us all that kindness can come from the most unexpected places. Today's story takes us to a quiet town where a boy, barely 10 years old, stumbled upon a wallet lost by a man whose net worth could fund a small country. But this isn't your typical lost and found tale. This is a story about integrity, humility, and a request so pure it shook a hardened businessman to his core. Make sure to watch till the end, because what this boy asked for will stay with you long after the video is over. It was an ordinary Tuesday morning when 10-year-old Sami walked to school. He didn't have much: a second-hand backpack, worn-out shoes, and the kind of quiet resilience that only poverty can teach. His mother worked 2 jobs. His father had passed away years ago. Most days, Sami skipped breakfast so his younger sister could eat. That's the kind of kid he was. As he crossed a busy street, something unusual caught his eye near a storm drain. A thick wallet, bulging with cash, half hidden in the gutter. Sami picked it up, glanced around, and opened it cautiously. Inside were credit cards, a driver's license, and a wad of cash, more money than he had ever seen in his life. At the top, a sleek, gold-trimmed business card read, Ibrahim Qureshi, founder and CEO. Qureshi Holdings, a millionaire, maybe even a billionaire. Sami's hands trembled. For a brief moment, temptation whispered, that money could fix so much. Rent, food, shoes, medicine. But he shook the thought away. With careful steps, he made his way to a nearby police station. He explained what he'd found, handed over the wallet, and walked out without expecting anything in return. It was the right thing to do. That was enough. The police called Mr. Qureshi that same morning. At first, he was furious. He thought his wallet had been stolen. But when the officer explained that a child had found it and brought it in without touching a single bill, Qureshi paused. He asked for the boy's name. All the officer knew was that the kid's name was Sami, and he'd mentioned a school nearby. The next day, Qureshi showed up at the school chauffeur. Designer suit, expensive watch. He asked to meet the boy. Sami was called to the office, confused and slightly afraid. When he saw the man, he recognized him from the photo in the wallet. You found my wallet? Qureshi asked. Sami nodded. Why did you return it? The boy looked up and said simply, because it wasn't mine. Qureshi chuckled, impressed. Most people would have taken the money. Sami shrugged. My mother says, if it doesn't belong to you, don't touch it. Even if no one's watching, God is. There was silence in the room. The principal and Qureshi exchanged glances. Then, the businessman reached into his coat and pulled out a thick envelope. Here, he said, this is a reward. You earned it. But Sami didn't move. He looked at the envelope, then at the man. And then he said something that made the room go still. Can I ask for something else instead? Qureshi, intrigued, raised an eyebrow. What is it? Sami took a breath. I don't want money. But my sister. She wants to be a doctor. She's really smart. My mom can't afford her school fees. Could you help her go to school? For a man used to people asking for cars, jobs, contracts, favors, this was different. He expected a greedy hand. He got a selfless heart. Qureshi blinked rapidly, then sat down slowly. Your sister? Not you? Sami shook his head. She's better than me. She deserves a chance. And in that moment, something shifted. The cold, calculating businessman who had spent decades building empires felt something melt inside him. He didn't just nod. He didn't just say yes. He took it further. That week, Cressy paid off the family's debts. He put both Sammy and his sister on full academic scholarships. He arranged a job for their mother at his company with flexible hours. But more than that, he visited often. He became a mentor, a friend, something like a father figure. Months passed. Sammy's sister topped her class. Sammy, too, blossomed under support and guidance. And every time someone asked Cressy why he was doing all this, he'd smile and tell them, "Because a boy once gave me back my wallet." But more importantly, he reminded me of what real wealth looks like. This wasn't just charity. It was a connection that spanned generations. Years later, when Cressy fell ill and stepped back from his company, he made Sammy his legal heir. A boy who once had nothing now co-ran one of the largest corporations in the country, not because he chased fortune, but because he chose character. If this story touched your heart even half as much as it moved us, take a moment today to reflect. What would you ask for if you had the chance? What would you give if you found something that wasn't yours? Stories like Sammy's remind us that greatness doesn't come from what we have, but what we do with the little we're given. Like this video if you believe kindness matters. Share it with someone who needs to be reminded that honesty and compassion are still alive. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful true stories that inspire, uplift, and change the way we see the world. Until next time, stay kind, stay humble, and remember, even the smallest actions can create the biggest ripples.